Understanding men emotionally changes how love shows up in your life. Most people think love is about finding someone to fill the empty spaces in their hearts. But real love, the kind that lasts, starts with understanding. See, when you understand how men process emotion, you stop taking everything so personally. You stop confusing silence for distance or space for rejection. Because sometimes a man's quiet isn't a wall, it's a way of thinking, a way of protecting peace. Men often carry their emotions differently. They don't always have the language for what they feel. But that doesn't mean they don't feel, they just express it in ways that might look unfamiliar. When you truly see that, you stop trying to pull feelings out of someone who's still learning how to share them. You start to listen between the lines. You realize love isn't something you chase down, it's something you understand and nurture. You become more patient, more discerning, and more at peace with how love unfolds. Because when you understand a man emotionally, you stop operating out of insecurity. You stop asking why isn't he texting, and start noticing how he shows up when he shows up and what his actions say. Understanding doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means reading it accurately. It means knowing the difference between a man who's emotionally unavailable and one who's emotionally processing. It gives you power, because clarity always does. And that clarity changes the way love finds you. You stop chasing potential and start recognizing presence. You stop auditioning for affection and start standing in your worth. And that's when love shifts. It's no longer about pursuit. It's about connection. Because when you understand men emotionally, you don't lose yourself trying to earn love. You attract it by being whole. Emotional connection, not chasing, creates real attraction. See, chasing is rooted in fear. The fear of being alone, of not being chosen, of losing something that was never truly yours. But connection is built on peace. When you stop chasing, you give love the space to breathe. You allow two people to meet where they are, not where desperation drags them. Chasing might grab someone's attention for a moment, but connection keeps their heart for a lifetime. Here's the truth most people miss. Attraction isn't built by pursuit, it's built by presence. When you're comfortable in your own skin, when you walk in confidence and calm, people feel that. It's magnetic. You don't have to perform, beg, or convince anyone to love you. The right person will recognize your energy without you having to sell. Emotional connection happens when two people see each other clearly, when there's honesty, understanding, and trust. It's not about playing games or controlling outcomes. It's about showing up authentically and letting the right connection meet you there. When you chase love, you're saying, I need you to validate me. But when you create emotional connection, you're saying, I see you and I'm here if you're ready. One comes from scarcity, the other from strength. Chasing wears you out. Connection fills you up. Because connection invites respect, while chasing demands attention. And attention fades fast when it's not rooted in something real. The magic happens when you stop trying to catch someone and start focusing on building a bond that feels safe and genuine. The right man doesn't need to be chased. He needs to feel. When you connect with a man emotionally, you awaken something in him that makes him want to stay. Not because he's being chased, but because he feels understood. Men crave respect, peace, and trust, more than constant attention. That truth right there can change the entire way you experience love. Many people believe men want grand gestures, endless affection, or constant validation, but deep down what most men truly long for is a sense of peace. When they're with you, they want to feel that being around you doesn't drain them, it restores them. See, respect, peace, and trust aren't just nice words. They're emotional oxygen for a man's heart. When a man feels respected, he feels valued. When he feels trusted, he feels capable. And when he feels peace, he feels safe enough to give his love freely. Men live in a world that constantly tests their worth, at work, in society, even in their own minds. So when they come home to someone who criticizes more than they appreciate, they start to shut down. But when a woman sees his effort, acknowledges his strength, and gives him space to breathe, he comes alive. Respect doesn't mean worship, it means appreciation. It's saying, I see what you do, and I don't take it for granted. Trust doesn't mean blindness, it means giving room for growth and peace. That's the quiet strength that tells a man he's safe to be himself. Constant attention can feel like pressure, but respect feels like admiration. Peace feels like home. Trust feels like freedom. When you offer those three things, you don't have to chase a man, he'll naturally want to stay. Because every man, no matter how strong or stoic, is searching for a place where he feels understood, not controlled. When you give him that kind of emotional space, he doesn't just love you, he cherishes you. And that kind of love doesn't have to be chased. It builds itself. Confidence and self-worth draw love naturally. When you truly know who you are and what you bring to the table, you stop trying to convince anyone to sit down and eat with you. Real confidence isn't loud, it's steady. It's that quiet kind of strength that says, I don't need to chase love, because I am already complete. See, when you walk in self-worth, you change the energy you bring into every room. You no longer operate from a place of needing approval. You start to move from a place of knowing your value. And that's the space where love grows effortlessly. Confidence is magnetic because it reflects security. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be present. When you love yourself, you set the standard for how others should love you. You stop accepting half-hearted efforts, or inconsistent affection, because you finally understand that peace is more valuable than attention. A confident person doesn't beg for time or energy, they attract people who match their vibration. Self-worth isn't arrogance, it's clarity. It's understanding that your value doesn't depend on someone else's interest in you. It's knowing that rejection isn't always a loss. It's often protection. When you stand firm in your worth, you stop chasing people who can't meet you where you are. Instead, you attract people who recognize your strength and want to add to your peace, not disrupt it. Love that flows toward confidence feels different. It's not forced. It's not desperate. It's natural, because when you believe you are enough, you don't run after love. You welcome, and the right person won't be intimidated by your confidence. They'll be inspired by it. You teach people how to love you by how you love yourself. That truth is simple, but it runs deep. Every time you set a boundary, every time you choose peace over chaos, every time you walk away from what doesn't honor you, you're teaching the world how to treat you. Love isn't just what you give to others, it's what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you believe you deserve. The way you love yourself sets the tone for every relationship that follows. When you treat yourself with kindness, respect, and care, you signal to others that this is the standard. But when you accept disrespect, inconsistency, or half-hearted love, you tell people you're okay with it. The truth is, people don't decide how to treat you, you show them. If you're constantly overextending, apologizing for your needs, or settling for less, it's not because others don't see your value. It's because you've forgotten it. And when you forget your own worth, you invite people to do the same. Self-love is not selfish. It's sacred. It's the foundation that holds everything else up. When you fill your own cup, you stop begging for sips of love from others. You start attracting relationships that mirror your inner peace. Because people can only meet you as deeply as you've met yourself. If you love yourself halfway, you'll attract halfway love. But when you love yourself fully, flaws, scars, and all, you attract people who see your light and want to protect it, not dim it. The way you love yourself teaches others how to handle your heart. When you honor your own needs and refuse to settle, you don't push love away, you make room for the kind that's real. The kind that doesn't need chasing, because it recognizes your worth instantly. When you stop chasing, the right man starts pursuing. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful shifts you can make in love. Chasing puts you in the role of the pursuer, constantly reaching, convincing, proving. But when you let go of that energy, when you stop running after someone's attention, you make room for the right kind of pursuit, one that's mutual, genuine, and rooted in respect. The truth is, the right man doesn't need to be chased. He's already watching, already noticing, already preparing to meet you halfway. When you stop chasing, you change the vibration of your relationships. You move from desperation to dignity. You start saying without words, I know my value, and I'm willing to wait for someone who recognizes it. That kind of confidence is magnetic. It draws in the man who's not afraid to lead, who wants to step up and match your energy, not drain. Because real men don't chase attention, they pursue connection. And when you stop overgiving, you create space for a man to give too. Sometimes love doesn't show up, because you're too busy chasing something that's not meant to stay. When you release that, you invite something better in, someone who sees your worth immediately, without needing to be convinced. The right man will pursue because he wants to, not because you made him. He'll call, he'll show up, he'll be consistent, because that's what pursuit looks like when it's real. So stop running after what's unsure. Stand still in your strength, and let love meet you there. The right man doesn't need to be chased. He's drawn to peace, confidence, and authenticity. When you stop chasing, you don't lose love, you make room for the kind that's already looking for you.